Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 29 puts it this way. It says, seest thou a man diligent in his business? He said, that man will not operate in low places. He shall stand before kings and not just before mean men. So it's important to see that every time we want to cultivate excellence, we must make up our mind that for everything we do, everything we pursue, we must be willing to go for something that shows that it is additional and at the same time it is exceptional. The second attribute, the second pattern that demonstrates the pursuit or the attainment of excellence is the refusal of all kinds of mediocre status quo. The refusal of mediocre status quo. That is to say, a present condition that is below par, that is below the standard of excellence. The refusal, the unwillingness to succumb to that mediocre status has a way of propelling your drive and your personality towards the value or the virtue of excellence. So we must learn to refuse every mediocre status. And yeah, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. You see it everywhere. Especially for a number of people of African descent. There's just a predilection, a tendency to gravitate, to accept whatever is. So you see people live in slums, it's okay. You see people live in their environment dirty, it's okay. You see people throw trash. People do stuff. They don't understand the beauty of order, arrangement. They don't understand the beauty of symmetry. Things being in place, everything happening at the right time, being neat, everything being well placed. That's the nature of God. So when we now, on the contrary, refuse mediocre status, refuse the status quo, refuse to settle for what is, that has a way of driving a whole new passionate pursuit of the concept and the spirit of excellence. There's the example of Daniel, even though it doesn't speak at that planes of excellence, but it does give us a mindset that Daniel cultivated that propelled him to be somebody that was full of the Spirit. In the book of Daniel chapter 1 and verse 8, the Bible puts it this way, but Daniel proposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with a portion of the king's meat, nor with the wine which he drank. He therefore requested the prince of the eunuch that he might not defile himself. What's that saying about Daniel? Daniel comes into Babylon and notice a tendency for everybody to operate at a particular level. And part of the elements of those operations at the same level was everybody defiling themselves, meeting at table and doing stuff that is routine, that is regular. And then he said, no. I am not designed to be the regular Joe. My destiny is to excel and be at the top. So because of that refusal, a couple of other things were activated in his favor that produced the testimonies, the amazing testimonials that has dodged the life and the story of Daniel. The third attribute that describes or propels a cultivation of the spirit of excellence is the concentration on a few matters. The refusal to be drawn into everything, but the willingness to separate yourself from the non-essentials and to now zero in on the essentials. The concentration on a few things. What in corporate parlance is called a hedgehog concept. A gentleman by the name of Jim Collins wrote a book that is very profound. It's called The Good to Great Concept. The good to great. How organizations are able to make the quantum leapfrog, literally, from just being good to becoming great and sustaining it for a minimum of 15 years. One of the attributes he described along with his research people in that book is what he called the hedgehog concept.